Happy Sunday. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here today on the first day of spring. I'm Isla, your host, and welcome back to Renew Your Soul. I hope this is a space for you to authentically be yourself, engage in honest conversations, and a sacred space for you to feed your soul. I'm actually recording today with a very pretty and intentional altar I set up earlier this week for the full moon in Virgo. I purchased it from House of Intuition, and it was the Strength and Vitality Ritual Kit. I love it. The sage is connected to a beautiful seashell with sea salt and an incense candle that I lit earlier today. The space is renewed and I am connected, and I hope you had time to create a sacred space as well before you tuned in, or even as you're listening in today. So we're here. Spring is here. This is the season where the natural world revives itself after the winter months, and renewal, rebirth, transformation, expansion, all those beautiful things all take place. I'm sure you feel it if you haven't already. I hope this season makes you feel so deeply connected to your soul. For me, change is happening at the moment, and I am embracing it and finding ways to ease my own flow during this season. To start us off, I want to take us through the past few months. How did you grow this past season, and how different does it look in comparison to where you were at last spring? Were there any significant dates of expansion that you remember? If you had low moments, how did that continue to shape you? Did you connect to your soul in any way? What were the themes in your life? Growth, expansion, connection, transcendence. And what did the winter season bring you that you want to expand on? I invite you to think about this question for a few seconds. Who did I become this season? Your answer will shape the next few months for you. In knowing who you became, your path to growth is so clear, and your soul will be deeply connected to your continuation of that becoming. We're going to start off the spring season today by connecting to our souls. The seasons mean different things for all of us, and I'd love to share what a few people shared with me in regards to what this season meant to them. The first one being, spring for me means a time to flourish and bloom. Spring means flowers, familiar and comforting sounds, birds chirping, kids playing outside, sunlight. Spring means a time to let go, release the old, and start fresh. Spring is the time to fully bloom. The energy in spring is great. It forces me to go outside and enjoy my time with friends. Those were all really beautiful answers. Thank you so much for those who shared. Spring equinox is so beautiful. I'm so excited to talk about it today. It marks an opportunity for us to upgrade our lives mentally, physically, and spiritually. It is during this time where we can continue to expand our souls and move into a level of consciousness that we have been dreaming of for the past few months, or simply this year, wherever you're at. I'm going to break things up by mental, physical, and spiritual renewal connection in this episode. And I'm just going to continue to express this. You'll hear episode after episode. These are things that have helped me, things that I'm currently working on, concepts that I have learned over the years, or I am in the process of growing deeper in. I love taking the time to expand and grow my learning, but these are just a few ways you can continue to connect with spring renewal this season. This doesn't mean you have to do it today or the first week of spring. You can connect to renewal at any point in the next few months. So let's start off with mental renewal. I think we need to take the time and space to assess how we are feeling right now. I would say close your eyes, take a few breaths, and let a few words come to mind, naturally, of course. How is your mind feeling right now? Are you feeling grounded? Are you feeling at ease? Are you feeling insightful? Are you feeling inspired? Are you feeling alert? Or are you feeling a little bit all over the place? Are you feeling confused? Are you feeling not alert? Are you feeling tired? I'd love setting an intention before I dive into any mental work. Of course, that doesn't happen all the time, but we can set an intention with anything that we do at any point in the day. With spring here, I definitely intend to focus on renewal, focus on decluttering the mind, both my mind and my spaces, focus on flowing with change. Change in any part of our lives can be a really difficult thing to process or work through, but I intend to spend more time releasing emotions that take up too much of my mental space. And in return, that will allow me to renew my mind. With our minds constantly moving, there are so many ways we can declutter the thoughts that are no longer deserving to stay with us. And there's a lot of work that we can all be doing. I would say trusting a therapist with techniques to form mental strength or exercises to work on is a very great option if you have the privilege to have that. Or even reading books on mental strength, mental habits, how to form habits, psychology, anything of those that interests you, or even following social pages online that you trust. This season is a beautiful reminder to trust our instincts and our gifts and release the old, release the anxiousness when we can, and release the old habits that are holding us back. And working on our mind is allowing us to move forward. The spring season is also a great time to start something new where you can see beautiful growth happen over the next few months and into the rest of the year. That being said, we can renew our minds by learning a new skill, something that is not only fun and interesting and excites us, but that can also help strengthen our connections in our brain. Starting this podcast is definitely my new skill I'm working on at the moment. It's not easy. You have to purchase the equipment, learn about the equipment, how it works, how it functions. Then you have to obviously go through the recording process, then the editing process, then putting it out. And then how am I going to share this with people? And it has already caused a few instances of anxiety, if I'm being honest with you. But more importantly, this new skill has allowed me to strengthen my mental capacity, work on strengthening my language and communication, work on my ability to stay focused, work on my ability to build a community, and all of that is going to need a lot of mental stimulation and mental strength. And as Bob Ross says it best, as long as you're learning, you're not failing. This was one of the best reminders I could have read this week, along with the full moon that we just had. If we're working on ourselves and moving forward with inspiration, motivation, diligence, faith, determination, we owe it to ourselves to understand and enjoy the process and understand that low and high moments will be a part of that. It's okay. It's okay to not understand something in the moment. That is what our mental stimulation, mental capacity, we work through that. And of course, it's so much easier said than done. One of the game changers for renewal of mind is meditation. I talked about meditation last week on episode 2, Practicing Mindfulness. Check it out if you haven't listened already. So I won't spend too much time on it, but meditation allows us to work with our mind. I practice transcendental meditation, and this spring, this season, I am working on getting better or more consistent with it. I first learned about transcendental meditation last year in March of 2021. It was just a year ago. Now that I think of it, it was last year. It'll be a year this month. And I will continue to strengthen my mind with this practice each week and not put it off, not saying that I don't have the time, because I have more than enough time to give love to my mind and in return letting go and renewing my daily thoughts. So that is a little bit on mental renewal. Let's talk about our physical renewal. I'm going to spend some time talking about renewing our physical spaces. Our physical spaces hold so much energy and motivation for our daily lives. When we enter our spaces, of course, we'd love for it to look the way we dream of, feel the energy we want when we walk in them, and feel inspired to go about our days and work, be creative, renew our souls, all of those beautiful things. So I'm going to invite you to take a look at your physical spaces this season. Get rid of the things that you don't need, because God knows I need to. Buy the fresh flowers this season and allow yourself to bloom with them. Create sacred spaces so that you can connect to your soul on a more consistent basis. Buy the sage or the palo santo, or the candles or the tea that you love, or the new chair that you have been eyeing to read on each night, or the magazines that bring you inspiration, or the beautiful glasses that you want to drink your water out of each day. Our spaces should reflect what we want to feel. And this is going to be a huge part of my spring this year, actually, I have so much change coming up in my physical space, and I'm taking a look at inspiration for what I want my space to look and feel like, and taking time to visualize so that I can be connected going into the whole process with a clear mind and a connected soul. Mark a date on your calendar, write it in your journal, play your favorite music, and align with your physical space. I would also say bring out your sage to release the energy that has been in the room since the last time you purged or cleared it out. Even do a meditation or visualization before you do your clearing as well. And if you don't know too much about this, I would suggest looking up a few videos on YouTube or connecting with a few meditations you might find on your favorite meditation app or your favorite creators online that talk about these different things. I personally like to support Latinx businesses or small businesses, Latinx creators online. And when I purchase anything in regards to spirituality stuff like sage, palo santo, things of that sort, I do my research before I go into it so that I know it's going to a person that I want to support. We deserve to have spaces that only bring goodness into our lives. So I'm going to share this book. I'm sure you have heard or read about it already. The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up: The Japanese Art of Decluttering and Organizing by Marie Kondo. This is one of my book reads for this month in honor of this spring season. So yes, it will be downloaded into my Audible very soon, and I will hear the audiobook on my nature walks in the next upcoming weeks. I'm so excited to learn more about decluttering from obviously world-renowned author Marie Kondo, who we have heard so much about over the past couple of years. I'm also very interested in minimalism. I've been really trying to only purchase things that I am aligned with, but there is just so much that I need to let go of. So I am very much in the process of doing that right now. And with that being said, this has a little bit of an energy tied to it. We also want to enter other physical spaces with the same energy we'd want to receive. And this is a huge part of energy learning. I'm actually very intrigued at the moment with aura and chakra healing work. I'm going to either pick up a book soon or take a class, whatever I feel most aligned with. And I hope to have more to share in the next few months. I definitely want to spend some time learning about it before I share it out on here. But this work is so incredible, and it also has a direct correlation with the different parts of our bodies and how unhealed work can manifest in our physicality. There is more to come on this. Now, spiritually, there are a lot of ways we can renew our souls: gratitude, prayer, nature, religion, writing, journaling, you name it. The spirit of spring invites us to focus on renewal. That is the key element here. Again, how can I further renew my soul and be a better me, a more aligned version of me, an abundant, ever-flowing, transformative soul? Only you know what's best for you here. All of these are important to me: gratitude, daily gratitude, prayer, nature, faith. But that might look different for you. You might have a different practice that you hold dear to your soul and that brings you spiritual alignment in your day-to-day. Whatever that is, do it and really be consistent with it. We become better people, more connected humans on this planet when we take the time to better ourselves and follow through with our habits, practices, rituals. For example, if you are a person who is just craving stillness right now, you might have not spent too much time on it in the past, but you're very intrigued and aligned with learning and practicing stillness in your daily life, spend 35 minutes, 15 minutes, 10 minutes of quiet stillness and or meditate before you start your day. And take the time to do that. Let's say you're a nature lover and you live in a city or state where it's been super cold in the winter. Now it's starting to freshen up, lighten up, have more sun out. Go out and spend a moment of nature every day, even if that just looks like sitting under the sun. Obviously, you know how much time you'll need out in nature. The key here is to find practices that make you most spiritually aligned with your truth. If you don't know what those are yet, take the time to experiment with what works best for you. What do you have time for right now? It doesn't have to be all in one day or all of these at the same time. 5 minutes of journaling or free writing each day, or 1 day of yoga a week, or 3 workout classes or gym days a week, or 1 meditation a week. By building these habits, by taking the time to do these things to better ourselves, we start craving and enjoying it more and more and more each day. When I first started meditation last year, it was very difficult for me because I practice transcendental meditation, and it's very unique in that you don't have any music or sound or a person talking in the background. You don't have anything to go off of. It's just you. And some days it really, really works for me. And I know that it's a habit, it's a concept that when practiced daily, I share this because this is where the transformation comes. It takes time. It takes so much time. It takes diligence. It takes motivation. And some days we might not even want to do it. But then when we finally do it, we feel so much better. I don't think anyone wants to wake up at like 5 a.m. and work out. I've heard from a lot of great people who are really fit, who are really connected in their physical bodies. Sometimes they don't even want to do it. They just have to do it. They know that it's a part of themselves they need to connect to each day so that they are better people and show up for themselves. Also, if you have been doing something that you don't feel aligned with, you don't have to keep doing it. If you're only going to a workout class because your friend goes, but you don't even like it, or you see that other people are drinking a green juice each morning and then a vitamin water at night, and you do it in that same exact order and you don't like it, don't keep doing it. It's okay for us to change our minds. It's totally allowed to experiment with different things at different seasons in our lives. And it's really a beautiful process to take inspiration from others, to read the books, and then take the concepts that most align with you. So as you're listening to this, you might be asking yourself, okay, these are all great things. I'm loving hearing this, but what can I do? What can I do to renew mentally, physically, and spiritually? What does that first step look like? I would say take the time. Take a 30-minute or an hour mark in your day in the next couple days or even the week at some point in the next couple weeks, preferably. And refresh a routine for you, actually more so a lifestyle. What do you want your lifestyle to look like in this next season? Because as the sun starts coming out, the weather is better, a lot of us tend to want to spend more time outside. Maybe that's not you, but when we take the time to look at the things that we need to do, the non-negotiables, I guess you could call them, and mark them in our day, and then we are able to figure out, okay, well, this season, I actually need to spend more time meditating. I actually need to find something that works for me. I actually am so sick and tired of spending so much time on my phone. What can I do? I'm actually wanting to spend more time outside. I actually do need to renew my soul. I do need to renew my soul. So I would say taking inventory of what works for you and what doesn't work for you and setting an intention with how you want to renew your soul, your mind, your body this spring. Ultimately, spring is seen as a time for renewal. It is a time for growth. It is a time to expand. And I also recently learned that the start of spring is also tied with the start of the astrological new year. And that is so crazy, which is Aries season, I believe, right now. Taking so many learnings, there's so many ways that we can expand ourselves. It's quite unbelievable, and to think that we might not even touch all of them before we pass. Hopefully we do a lot of it. These are things that have been on my mind for spring renewal, and I'm definitely going to touch base with myself each week and see what is working, what I want to spend more time on. Do I want to go on more artist dates, which I talked about in my first podcast episode, Sunday Soul Routine. Also, if you haven't heard that, I would definitely check that out. All of these are tied. The first one was Sunday Soul Routine. The next one is practicing mindfulness. We talk about all the different ways you can practice mindfulness. When I say we, I mean I. I need to start saying that better. I always say we. And I'd love to hear what you are working on at the moment this spring. What are some things that you are excited to try this season? Anything that may come to mind, please feel free to share it with me on Instagram at Sesiones. I'm going to actually head out and go in nature today. I'm hoping to check out the beach and really take the time to enjoy the start of this beautiful season. And with that being said, let's focus on renewal and transformation this spring. It's just a chance to start fresh because the time is now. We can do this at any point. We can totally start fresh in July, in the summer, in the fall, in the winter. But there's just something so beautiful with blooming with the flowers outside in the spring. It's also our chance to continue making new connections, continue to focus on doing things that we love, and getting rid of the things that no longer align in our lives. I hope this episode allowed you to connect to your soul. I hope it was something good for your day. And if you enjoyed listening today, please don't forget to subscribe, rate, and/or review this podcast. If you feel called to, it would be such a huge blessing to me. It lets me know and the platforms know that you would love to continue hearing more of Renew Your Soul. You can also follow along on Instagram at Sesiones. I'd love to connect with you. I am sending you so much love. Happy spring. I hope beautiful things happen to you this week. Bye.